So let's begin our fifth lesson for macros, which is macro programs.
So can we
Now,
go? Oh, Ashu,
yes,
sorry.
yes,
But can
tell
we
me.
go over that exercise if you want?
You want me to look into that
Yeah, just
exercise?
like not for much time, but we can
Okay,
do
we'll just
fast.
discuss it in
Yeah,
case. So this exercise you was telling me, right?
exactly.
Creating macro variable using SQL. So here they have already given this program, where in this program they are telling that in data step we are using this to create your
Mac.
macro variable,
Correct.
correct?
Hmm.
And this is the expected result which they are doing it with proc print. All right.
Hmm.
So delete your macro variable quant and price from your symbol table. Why? Because you have created through data step.
Hmm.
Correct. So this quant was creating where you are applying this format with this
Average.
function. It's creating average where character is converting to numeric, numeric to character. Sorry, and
Yes.
again price. Okay, so this price and quant are the two macro variables which are created, and these two columns are coming from mean of average quant and average price, which is nothing but mean procedure result for your data order fact, correct? Where
Hmm.
it's the output data set where mean you are giving it as average quantity and average price. Why? Because there are two columns on which the analysis is happening for means to be processed. So one mean which is for quantity is named as average
Hmm.
quant, whereas second mean value for total retail price is named as average
Have.
price.
Hmm.
And these variables are used to create your macro variable values, and you're using it in your report. And on this, you are generating the report. Now, the same thing they're asking you to do it with ProcSQL.
Okay, still.
So
Here also
delete
I did.
macro, yeah.
I was little confused. What I was thinking, what when they said replace the proc mean step and data step. So I was trying to do separately. Proc mean separately and data step separately. But
No,
after that,
correct.
yeah, there
So
also.
why? Because they have already done this. So now instead of doing data step where you are creating macro, they are telling the same thing. You need to create macro via using ProcSQL step. So
Hmm.
we have already seen that means to create a macro variable via data step with your calls input text routine, the values you are doing it with procmins. But same thing you can do it in a single procedure step by using your mean
Proc.
function on your columns. And those can be your macro variables, correct?
Hmm.
So resubmit proc print. So same thing. So should we work on this or it's okay now? Do you want me to work on this?
Yeah, me. I got it. If Meena wants to see,
No, I will do it.
Yes, it's simple now,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Very simple. So instead of using your proc means and data steps, you see with data step, this is one thing that you have to make use of two steps to perform the same activity, but with ProcSQL, the same activity can be done with only single procedure step.
hmm.
Yeah, with
Okay, so
me
that is
and
one advantage. One
data.
advantage over data step, but make a note, it's not a replacement of data step because certain data related activities which can be done with data cannot be done with ProcSQL, like certain tools like performing your data iteratively via do loops or arrays or or processing your data to create your accumulating total, merging.
Mhm.
Okay, when we'll do ProcSQL, of course, you'll see how superior ProcSQL or superior data. Though nothing is superior, but yes, ProcSQL is a very easy language, easy to work language, and it at least I am very fond of writing ProcSQL codes.
Okay.
So it's really interesting. So
Mhm.
that we can always learn when we start SQL with the next session. So I'll just, if you want, now it's okay. Now it's fine, right? If with this discussion, but still I'll work on this exercise for you. Very simple exercise. It's connecting to my studio.
Where I was struggling, like in mean function, actually.
Uh-huh.
I
So you
have
was
no
using
idea. Yeah, in same bracket. I
Right.
was using
He
two
was doing it
variables.
as base SAS type.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but here the columns are independent columns, because if you see proc means, they have created means report or means value independently on those columns for total retail price and for quantity.
Yeah.
That is why those columns has to be used separately to create macro variables with SQL. You cannot combine those because he was not calculating the mean on both the variables in combination.
Mm.
It was independent mean value.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Just few seconds and it will get connected.
In second example also, like I didn't see in solution, I got to know like what to do. The program was correct, but I was little confused in some, like after this we will discuss this.
All right. This was something which they have done it. So this macro variable, see, it's actually calculating independent mean. If I remove this, so those are not at all correlated to each other. So you have independent mean, standard deviation, minimum, maximum for quantity and total retail price. Correct? The
Yeah.
same thing if you try to do it. So let's first percent symbol. What's a macro variable we have created is quant and price. Right?
Mm.
All right.
So
The
delete.
same thing, you can replace your steps of either your data step null. Instead of that, you can create a macro variable by using GuruSchools. Let So we have to calculate mean. So instead of mean, in you can have average.
Okay.
Let's check the sequence. You're going to
Quantity.
calculate this on your
Quantity.
column. Yes. Give its name as. This is just a
Quants.
as one, one column. Average total retail price.
Hmm.
Price. Just check.
Alright. Hmm.
Order fact.
Yeah.
First, do we have to subset?
Where same as it is.
See average.
Yes.
Is this values correct?
I think. Can you check? No, it
One
was
sec,
different.
one
I
sec.
think
Warning for
it was
process.
2.14 something. for quantity.
Now we already have a data set. Let me check, okay?
Hmm.
So where's this data set stats?
Yeah, we need to
Average
format
quantity,
also, right,
yes.
Ashwini?
Format we can apply, no worries.
Yeah, see
7,
2.15.
yeah. Whereas here the result is okay. So average is not coming correctly. So it was subsetting this. So let's same it's given.
Yeah,
Values, does it is still subsetting on anything else?
I
It's the
don't know,
same
but
data.
because when I created it, I got correct result
But it is,
2.15.
are you sure we have to subset? I don't think. Let me check if we do not subset.
We have to substitute.
Same thing. If you don't subset also, it is giving same result.
Yeah,
Same
actually, I
thing is
didn't
giving,
save my that code.
it's okay, but it's giving me same values.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mean for
semicolon.
quantity, mean for
Ashwini,
total.
remove that semicolon.
Yes. No, but now it's fine because now I'm not
Yeah,
using where, correct?
yeah.
I'm not using where. But still, let's see now. It's giving me same thing.
I don't know why. Let me try my screen.
It's okay. But fine. So this is how. So let's work on this. That how one can create macro variable on it. Okay. Now you can always have a format done on the value. You can write format equal to, and you can apply a format of dollar suppose state dot. Same format. You can have it for this column. And now,
Not same, Ashwini. It's a
then what is the format
4.2.
they are asking? For second one, it's 4.2.
See, the average underscore cont 4.2.
Okay. Okay. Two here, and here is 7.2.
You don't need to do dollar, Ashwini, there. Just format 4.2.
Here it is only figure. Okay, sorry, it's quantity, correct. It's simply width and decimal. All right, so now you have selected the columns. Let's use into clause. Create a macro variable called
Quant.
as quant.
And second
All
is
right,
price. Yeah.
and colon another macro variable price.
Yes.
And next step, the score is equal to quant, and the score is equal to error with a year.
Format 4.2.
4.2 dot. That dollar 4.2 dot 8 point dot now, so that dot I did not remove, but now again colon price
Comma. I think we need comma.
comma,
That
yes,
comma
sorry,
is there, yeah.
comma is required because it's a SQL language, and in SQL the columns are submitted with comma.
Because I did same mistake yesterday. I know.
See, now this is done. Okay, format is applied,
Yes.
and this is your macro variable.
Values.
Why
Fine,
that
so it's
result is different?
so that we'll have to find out why it's different. So that's a different task.
But when I did it yesterday, I got corrected.
You got it correct now.
Yeah,
Same
yes.
table it is.
Yes,
No
I got
problem.
2.15.
Okay, so let me do the same thing. This start and stop it. And let's uncomment away. But it should work.
Even after that data underscore null underscore, you can try put and get that values.
Yeah,
Put
if you want, you can
ampersand
again
font.
relearn this. Yes.
Yeah, so
That's
you will
there.
get an idea. Yeah. What values they are taking.
Values itself we saw.
See,
See now, is it
50.
coming?
it's correct.
Yeah, it's coming.
Now it's coming. So let's check log. Now it's coming.
Super.
All right.
Yes.
So this macro variable now, which you have created through SQL, just run it again with your
Because that
proc
start
print.
and end we didn't run, that's why it was not
But
taken.
earlier we had given, right? I don't
But
know
we
what
didn't
was
run.
happened.
We didn't run that time before.
Maybe, yes. Let us examine where it is using your macro variables,
Okay.
which you have created through proc SQL.
SQL, yes.
Okay, good. So now let's proceed with your lesson 5, where we'll do more about or learn more about your macro programs. So in this, there are 4 topics. First is we'll see how one can write macros with conditional processing, because as you know, when SAS analysis or a data step or any type of programming within SAS, when we write, there are certain ways where we have to write conditional statements. So the same conditional code can be saved permanently as a macro program, so that in our next task it can keep on or we can use it frequently. Hence, when we are writing this type of programs with macros conditionally, we'll see how it works and how you give instructions in macros to write conditional programs. Then we'll see what parameter validation is. Then we'll see how iterative looping is also written within macro programs. And of course, we'll understand what is global and local symbol table. So let's work with first topic, conditional processing. So objectives here is conditionally process SAS code within a macro program, will monitor macro execution and will insert entire step, either statements and partial statements into your SAS programs. Now look at the business scenario. Very simple. At initial stage, if you remember, I had given this example that why macro is so important in our programming day-to-day processing when you're working on a live scenario. To make your task simple, to automate the process. Okay, macros are mostly used into business scenarios at live data. Most of the time, macros is very commonly macros and SQL is used to automate your process. So when we say automation, a very simple example. Being an analyst, you are given a task that you need to generate a report, which is on daily basis as well as on weekly basis on a specific project maybe. So when a daily report is done, of course, it's going to be a daily information or a list report. Hence, you can use a proc print type of procedure. And when you are looking ahead to have your me or your weekly report, it's going to be a summary report for throughout the week, right from Sunday till Saturday or Friday, because Friday is mostly it's your weekend, correct? So it's the day where your week ends, and so hence the data which keeps on updating throughout the week, you need to generate a weekend report at the end of your whatever the task is. So for that, you may write a proc means or proc summary, whichever procedure is suitable as per your requirement of business. You may write a summary procedure, either proc means. So this is to be done regularly on regular basis, maybe at specific time, or regularly has to be done. So being a data analyst, we do not have that much time to always open a program and look into your specific specifications, do the changes if it's a daily report to update it, the system date and time, and then execute your proc print. And when it is Friday, the report has to be get submitted at midnight, but you are not available 24/7 throughout the clock on your system, correct? So it's impossible. That is why we need to automate your programs. And this is how we can make use of macro programs to automate your coding. So hence this type of symbol and this lines indicates that it's SAS codes and we are going to write a macro on it where you're automating it that every day you want a daily report, and when it is a weekend, which is a Friday, then only it should execute proc prints. So every day it should execute proc print, and you give the condition in your program in such a way that in case current your system day is Friday, then only it should execute your proc means. Otherwise, it should not execute proc means if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. All right, so this is how we are going to do it. So daily sales report is generated every night. Every Friday, a weekly report is generated. Determine the best method to automate this process or reports. So for that, we are going to make use of conditional processing in your programming. So this is your proc print which you are doing on daily basis, where in your where statement C, you are using your system date. Now make a point when we will be working, okay, when we will be working, this is order fact data, which is far more old table for our current business scenario. When you are trying to use order date with your system date 9, you may not get the values. Remember this, okay? So don't get panic in that case, but always understand this system date will give you our current system date, but your data does not have your current date informations, correct? Okay, just an heads I wanted to give you. Okay, so this is going to create a daily report on your, depending on your system date. Then you may write a condition between the programs telling if it is Friday, if yes, depending, it will check your system data or system date, sorry, and it will process your proc means, which is your summary report, where you are again filtering your data, where you are telling it is going to give you the data since your day one of your week till your Friday, because it's a weekly report, correct? Hence, whatever is your current system date, 6 days back. Okay, so that 6 days back will be your first day of your week and your current system date if it is a Friday. Are you getting at this? How it's working here? Because we are going to work between, maybe it's going to be from Sunday to Friday, because Sunday is one, Monday two, Tuesday
Ashwini,
three,
if
Wednesday.
system date is like Monday, like
uh,
today's system date we gave it, then today is Wednesday, right? So -6, it will how it will come.
So that's what I'm telling. If you remember, we have sysday, which gives you the information of your system day, which it calculates Sunday as a first day. So when Sunday is the first day, Monday is the second, Tuesday third, Wednesday four, Thursday five, and Friday is the sixth day. So -6 day, it should give starting from your -6 days behind. So it will go your Sunday, Saturday to Thursday. So that will be your weekly report for a week. Correct?
Okay, so you mean to say like a whatever date you gave for sys date 9, anyways it will start from Sunday
Yeah, if it
and
the
it will minus, yeah.
day of the week is suppose whatever it could be, but it should be always -6, correct? Because what are we giving? That if it is Friday, we are going to give this information in your condition.
Correct.
Hence, we are going to tell that -6 means Sunday is always the first day. Okay, so if your current week of the day is Friday, so -6 days, so it should give you previous all 6 days report as a summary report. Because we are giving the condition that if your system day is Friday, then only it should process proc means.
Correct.
Correct?
Friday means what?
We are not going to run, yeah, we are not going
-6.
to run proc means on Wednesday. We are not going to run proc means on Thursday. It's only going to be run only on Friday because it's a weekly report. Weekend is coming. So
Yeah.
weekend no one works. So
Okay.
if it's Friday, then only it should execute proc means.
Okay. So Friday, how they're writing? It's this way, like sys date 9 -6.
No, it's
No,
telling
no, we have to
this.
give condition for Friday.
This is your Friday date.
Okay.
-6 day. That means the whole
Oh,
week's
yes,
week.
yes, the
Na?
first day. Okay, got it.
Yeah, first day. So that's what I was telling. Sunday
Yes.
is the first day, Monday second, Tuesday 3, Wednesday 4, Thursday 5, and your Friday is
Friday
6
6.
because Saturday is ultimately 7. So that is why when it is system day is Friday, then only it should execute proc means, and therefore you're giving it a calculation about last 6 days. Getting it?
Yes.
Understood?
Yeah.
Yes. Moving ahead. So if you have this type of scenario, how will be working? So there are 3 ways of working. First method is either you can create multiple macros, including a drive macro. Or second method is you can create a single macro with person do person then statements, or you can create a single macro with person include statement. So let's see which method we can work efficiently. So what is the first method? Create separate macros for daily and weekly report. So what you do is you write a macro daily, within it you write proc print. Got it? So it's a macro program. Within it you are including proc print. Agreed?
Yeah.
Then you create a separate macro program, give the name weekly and include procmins as a part of this macro. Agreed?
Yes.
These are two macros which you have written independently. One is daily and one is weekly. So while calling, when you need to call, again you can write a third macro. What macro you can write? Percent macro reports. So in this you can write every day call daily. So within a macro, it should call a daily macro. Agreed? And you give a condition percent if ampersand sysday is Friday. So ampersand sysday is your automatic macro variable which gives you system day. And in the global symbol table, the value is always case sensitive where first letter is always capital. And in macro, when we are writing this type of program, we never give character value of this within macro in quotation marks. Okay, so why that we'll see in upcoming topics. But at this point, just remember this. And see, you're writing person, then call weekly. All right, and this is percent m and report. So this is the syntax of your if then else conditional statements which you include in your macro, which are preceding with percent sign. This indicates these are your macro statements or macro percentage which are written only within macro programs. All right. So these are not your simple base SAS if then else statements. This is going to be your macro statements which are written only within your macro program. Hence they are preceded with percent if, percent then, percent else. Syntax is same, like if expression then action else second action. All right. So understand, whenever you write a macro statement of percent if then else, character constants are not quoted. That's what it's telling. Though your character, we know that in SAS, macro variable value is always processed as text. So though it's a text, you never put it into quotes. So it's telling it's never quoted, and of course are case sensitive, where first letter is uppercase. All right. Then it's telling the percent else statement is optional because of course here we are not using it. So you have not used, so it's optional. So it's telling percent if, percent then and percent else statements can be used inside a macro definition only. Because it's macro statements, because it is preceding with percent signs. And we know anything preceding with percent sign followed with a keyword, that means it's a macro statements, and it has to be written within macro definitions or macro programs, or you also term as macros. So what are these macro expressions? If you write percent if this expression switches, it could be arithmetic expressions, or you can use arithmetic operators also. It's valid with your macro expressions and SAS expressions. Logical operators like and, or with percent sign can be used with both the programs. Comparison operators, symbols, mnemonics like equal to sign or EQ, that is also valid when we write this expression. Expression means this. See, ampersand Tuesday is equal to Friday. So it's an expression. So this expression can be arithmetic operators which are valid with both base SAS as well as macro expressions. Logical operators and or percent is also valid in both. Comparison operators like equal to sign or EQ, which is mnemonic symbol, can be used in both of the programs. Case sensitivity, yes, both are case sensitive. Special where operators, you cannot use macro expressions. Okay, oh sorry, with special where operators like quotation marks. With macros, there are no quotation marks on it when we write with percent if expression. Whereas if we do the same thing with SAS expression, characters expressions has to be put with quotes. Ranges such as 1, which is less than equal to a specific value, and this value is again less than equal to 10. So can you use this type of expression in macros? You cannot use this type of expression, but you use in SAS expression. The next thing is telling about in operator. You can use in operator in both your programs. In operator parenthesis required. In macros, it's not required. As we know, for character, quotation marks are not required. Same in operator, if you are using any character value, no need of using parenthesis. But in SAS expressions, we use parenthesis. So we'll see one of those examples also in upcoming slide. So what is this actions? It's similar like your base SAS, if expression then action. So this actions can be keywords which are followed with person sign and else, percent else statements. So this actions could be either macro language statements or can be macro variable references, or you can call a macro, or you can have any text. Okay, so this can be action. So in our example, we have an action where we are calling a macro call. Correct? Yes.
Yeah, weekly, correct.
Yes. So when you're writing this type of program, if you want to know what is the logic currently working, is it correct or wrong? So let's work on this. I'll try to give you this activity domain activities information. It's demo 01A. So this is the first demo of this lesson with A as part A. So it's 5th lesson demo 1A. So first and foremost, create your macro with daily. So this is one step. You create separate macros for weekly also. And then you can create a third macro report where you're calling one and you're calling second for with a condition. So this is what it is. Call your first, which is person daily, if it is not Friday. But in case if it's Friday, then call weekly. So let's create this macro. Now you are creating this macro. You have created and saved it. Maybe you have given the instructions to save permanently also. Now, if you want to check all this, whether the compilation error was coming, not coming, whether it's going to check for its symbol gen, resolving the macros correctly. If you want to see the background code, that mprint, if you want to see that also, you can write. So let's, before working on this, let's open up all the options which we have learned. So first option, you can write mcompile note message you want to see. So write mcompile note equal to all. Second, you can write you want to see the imprint, which is your background code. And third, if you want to see the macro is getting result successfully or not. Fine. So all this is all open. Again, re-execute it along with this options. So when I submit all along with this options, you see the messages in log about compilation. Of course, it will not give you message about getting results successfully and mprint also, because you have not called any of this macro. Correct? So you have not called it, because when you call percent report, then only within it will call percent daily. And what is percent daily? It will unwind this program. Correct? So let's check how it works.
We can call.
This is what it's telling. Percent reports I'm calling.
Okay.
So when I'm calling, with your log, you get this because of mprint. So because mprint is on, percent report, it's telling it's calling percent daily first. Correct? Why? Because in your program, within your report, you have called daily first. Correct? Hence, in log, it's telling mprint when it called first your daily macro, which consists of proc print. Okay, so it's working on this. Within your proc print, we had a where statement where it is going to subset your data. So your macro variable is subsetting. Currently, your system date is telling me 2nd March 2022, and it's resolving the value. But we know it will not give you any result. Why? Because in our data set, we do not have values for your current data. Hence, you get result as 0. Okay, so that is fine. But what if, see, it's telling another sys day resolves to Wednesday. But you have given this condition that in case if it is ampersand sys day, if it is Friday, then weekly. So how we come to know whether this is true or false? So if you want to check the logic of this has been working, or how, whether it's not false or whether it's false or true, while calling your macro, you can always make use of another system option. So I can use this system options called as mlogic. Okay, so what does this mlogic does? It gives you the message of your macro logically executed. So when I check my log, let me execute because this log is not coming. Now see, it worked with proc print. Post proc print, you have your %if condition. Earlier, did we get all these messages? No. It's because of your mlogics, which you have opened up this dialog with SAS. It is telling after executing with proc print, it checks, it's also telling mlogic daily execution ending over. So your %daily execution got over because it's exhausted after calling. Okay, that's done. Now it's telling macro variable sysday resolves to Wednesday. So your current system day is Wednesday. So what is it telling? Your condition in your program. So why we had given, we were telling %if %sysday is Friday, but it's telling ampersand sysday is getting now resolved to Wednesday. And what is your condition? Your logic, if it is Friday. Hence, this logic is false. That is why your mlogics, which you have asked to run for calling your %reports, has got executed. Why? It's not working with %weekly because it's not Friday. Hence, it did not went to call it. It simply terminated your report call and it's telling execution of your macro report ended. And because of mlogics, it's checking this condition. It's telling this condition is true or false. And it's mlogics, it's telling this message. Are you getting it? Earlier, we did not have this message coming, if you remember, without mlogics. It was simply running with %daily. Correct? So it not give you any further message on condition. Agreed? How mlogics work?
Yeah.
So make a note with mlogics, you will have questions in your technical round. So they will tell what this mlogic actually does. So it actually checks the logic of your program. If the logic is true, it will work with your upcoming code. If it is false, it will stop there and there. And it gives you the guideline how it is working with that logic. Okay. This is how mlogics work. So see, it's telling mlogic, it's a system option which displays macro execution messages in log. So default messages, no mlogic. So when you use this same activity, what error do you see in the log? So when you call, so it's an activity A01. So let's check. So it's activity A01.
It was above only. The first check.
Ah, yeah, sure. So now for us, it may work. It will not give you any error. Yes, we did get an error. Tell me what's an error.
Because system date is not.
Observe carefully what it's telling. It's highlighting in your program.
A dummy macro will be
Then statement not found.
weekly. We already created one.
The dummy macro will be compiled, they're saying.
Because this weekly we are given condition, and first weekly we haven't given any condition.
No, look at the program. You know what? Whenever we are creating a macro, it checks for its syntax error. It will not execute. So, and not execute any SAS code also. It will not check your SAS code syntax also. It will just check your macro syntax. So what is it highlighting? Very simple. Looking at it only, you should get to know.
Percent, then
Percent
percent is
then,
the
Absolutely. Because you are writing a macro program, And this is conditional statement which is within your macro. This keyword if is preceded with person sign, then
It should be
also has
person
to be
then.
a person sign. And that is what it's telling. It's a syntax error for your macro while compilation. And therefore it's
That-
telling dummy macro has been compiled. Got it now? So this is where you see then is not highlighted in blue because you are writing it within a macro. Now when I re-execute, it will create my macro with the name as reports. And with mcompile not equal to all message, it's telling now it's compiled without any errors. Got it? This is very important about person signs. With percentage, percentage. In case if you write else also, percent else should be there within your macro. So this is what it was telling. If a macro definition contains macro language syntax, very simple. So it's telling macro definition, that is a macro program. Okay, contains macro language syntax. So of course it's a macro language syntax. Okay. Syntax error, error message are written to SAS log and a dummy macro which is non-executable macro is been created. Okay, so this was the first method where you are creating 3 macros, correct? One macro was daily, second macro was weekly, and you are writing a third macro which was reports, which was combining daily and weekly. Now instead of creating 3 macros, can I write a single macro called macro report, and within it I write proc print and I give the statement percent if system day then do. Now you know what then do does? It's a group of statements executed on a single condition. Correct? So on your single condition of Friday, then do you write proc means end it, percent end. Got it? It's same like your group, then do grouping of your bases. Agreed? Right? Very simple code. Only instead of writing on your single condition, a single statement, you have multiple statements, hence you are writing do grouping. Correct?
Yeah.
So every person do has to end with percent end. And see if this expression is false, else person do your further statements. So you can have a single macro program where you have proc print, give your condition. With this expression, you have multiple statements, like person then person do, end with person end, amend with your report.
So
Okay.
here's the difference only is we are just using percent, right? Sign before
Oh,
if, then, do.
yes, yes. Means what you mean to tell is about your macro language statements,
Yes.
correct? Yeah, but remember, if you try to use this percentage person then with your simple basis program, it will work as error. And
Yeah,
your
definitely.
simple,
Because
yes,
we are
simple
using this
if,
in macro, right?
correct, absolutely.
Between macro.
No,
Yeah.
because why I'm highlighting on this? Because sometimes students or people does use, try to use percentage outside your macro. Okay. Or they tend to forget to give percent sign and they keep on writing if this then do end without percent sign within your macro. So it's a habit because we know we are writing if then else condition, people keep on typing if then else, but they habitual, they maybe tend to miss out that we are writing it within your macro program. All right. Moving ahead. Now let's see your third scenario. So what is this third scenario? You create a single macro with percent include statements. Now let me tell you what percent include statement is. So though it is preceded with a percent sign, it is actually not a macro statement. Okay. The percent include statement is actually a independent statement, though it is preceded with percent sign. it is not a macro statement. Make a note. It's not a macro statement. You can write it outside a macro also. It's simple, like you can give the path where you have a code written, and this will directly copy the code into input stack to execute your macro program. Very simple. Like for example, what it's telling here, ampersand path daily.ss. So what is this .ss? You have created a simple SAS program as daily and saved it as a SAS code, and you are simply asking it to execute, giving the path within report with person include. So this include keyword and person sign indicates SAS that this code has to be directly been copied to your input stack while processing. Though it is preceded with person sign, it's not your macro statement. This can be written independently outside your macros, or it can be independently written like your lib name, like your option statements. All right. Then you can write your condition. Percent include, you have already created a procmins code and you have saved it as a SAS program. You can ask SAS to connect to this path and simply copy this code and type or take it to your input stack for processing. So what is this percent include statement? Retrieves SAS code or SAS source codes from an external file and places it on your input stack. It's a global statement. As I said, it's same like your lib name or options. It's a global statement, cannot be always a part of your macro language or cannot be written into a specific state. It can be an independent statement also. All right. So it's telling your source to option displays inserted SAS statements in your SAS log. So these are some of the options which if you want to see how this code is been copied, and it show that code into SAS log if you write this option source course. So or source 2. This is one example. So this is the third method. So moving back within your program, do we have certain pre-existing programs?
Ashwini,
So
I didn't understand percent include. They are saying it's global statement. Then how it is like what it will work in macro program? How it will work?
it is simple a program where instead of writing another macro, why don't we copy the path and tell SAS the where my SAS code for daily is, and I ask it to execute with person
Okay,
include.
so
And
the
what this
daily
person?
daily we have already created that daily
Yeah,
macro.
that's
We
why
gave
see
that
no,
path.
the extension itself is telling it's a SAS code,
Oh, okay.
which is existing SAS code. You have already created and saved the program.
Hmm.
Okay, so you can always make use. It's not a macro statement, but it's an independent statement. You can also like this. Also, you can call it and you can execute it. I'll
Yeah,
show
but
it.
percent
I'll
daily will be easy, na? Then percentile daily will be easy instead of giving that path.
any which ways. There are three methods.
Yeah.
For you, they have given this methods. You can use any which one which you find is so it's working, or it's more system resourceful,
No, no.
or
What I
whatever
wanted,
you want.
what I wanted to just say is percent daily, and I or percent this includes. So percent daily is the short and like sweet and short. We can just write percent daily. We have created instead of giving all the path and all. That's what I just wanted.
Person daily is again you are creating an independent macro, right? So if you
Yeah.
remember, you are creating as a macro program.
Yeah.
So same thing now. What is person daily? It's proc print. So
Hmm.
if you have written proc print on a code on an editor window, you can say proc print as a daily SAS code, and instead of using or creating a macro, directly call that program with percent include and give a condition and call your weekly program. That's it.
Yeah,
That
but
can also be your third method, simple
yeah,
one.
but
In
for
case if you
calling,
don't want to have percent daily and percent weekly to create independent macro program. It's
Okay.
any program you can use it. That's what they just give, trying to give you various options.
okay. But for
Okay.
calling, we have to create this, right?
Yeah,
Percentage.
so that code has to be there. So most of the time you may write the code and save it, or you may
Hmm.
ask someone to write proc print code and save it to a specific location, and you can simply create a macro like this.
Include. Okay.
Yes.
Hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
So looking into this, we should have this program which is daily.ss. So we have weekly.ss. Okay, so if I open this code like this, you'll see we have properties. Got it? See, weekly.sh. It's a SAS code window or a file.
Which we already created, right?
So it's .sh. That means it's extension telling it's a SAS code. So when I double click it, it's showing me it is having a SAS program into it. Agreed?
Yeah.
Okay.
It means we
So
already created this, right, Ashwini?
yeah, you have a program with you.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm telling. In your life scenario also, either you save this program because you might be doing it on your daily basis. So you might have saved this program.
Yeah. And then use
Then
percentage.
just use the
Simply,
path.
yes. So in case if I write %include and I ask SAS to simply run this. So for running this, I can give the path.
This path, yeah.
So it's not going to be part of any macro. So it's an independent statement. So even if I simply copy or simply execute this at the back end, it is going to copy directly proc means to input stack, and it will perform word scanning and it will execute. So again, you will not get any output. Why? Because we don't have your data for your current date. That's why you're getting 0 rows. All right. But it's executed. So in case if we do not want that code, now this is the same thing which it is actually working on a system base. We are not going to get any data where we do not have any date values, which is your current system date. So your current system date is 2022 and your data for order fact. So what's your order fact data?
I think 2011 or something.
Till 2011, correct? So we can do one thing if you want. If we are looking ahead to work on this.
We can change our system date.
No, how can you change the system date? You have to backdate, but your internet will not work currently. Why? Because you are working on a cloud application.
Yeah.
So it may not work.
Mm.
So let us 8%. I'll just go like this. It's not sysdate, okay? It's just SYDAD. Where you can give it as set eval or speed
9.
currently 2022, 10 years back. What this will be next? Let me check out.
2012. But ampersand date 9 it should be, no? Or no?
We have date also and date 9. We have both the dates or both the types. One will show with 7
Okay.
word value and one is 9 word value. Percent eval, not resolved.
Maybe 2012 is not there.
It's percent eval and I'm writing ampersand.
Oh,
Okay.
Eval F.
Let me check. Parenthesis is not correct.
One
Sys function.
What's this
One
function?
more, I
One
think.
more
Three
is,
value.
yeah.
Yeah, but here it is going to be. One is for eval and one is for sys function. It's telling you this sys function is not working on your, if it's telling you to use sys function. So what this sys function is? Execute SAS function or user written functions, mask special characters and mnemonic operators. Okay. Because of the minus sign maybe. Let's check if it works. No. You see it's telling it's
Is
period.
there a period?
It's coming period.
No.
Estimated it's taking period and minus 10 like that.
Nice. This will also not work. All right, but I'll show you later on. Give me some time. Currently, I'm not able to think it logically. But yes, this is what, because of your data currently you cannot have system data extracted because your current data does not have any values which is for the year 2011. Correct? Because the system date is 2022 and your data is far more back data. So this is how percent include can be used. So generate frequency reports for all order types or specific orders. You can have frequency reports also. But before moving to the scenario, I would request you to work with demo, D01, A, B, and C, all the three methods. And work with this activity also.
D01A, B, C, right?
Recording. So our next business scenario is create frequency reports for all order types or a specific order type. Now we want the order type column on which the frequency has to be generated. So order type, we know it's retail, correct? Catalog order or internet type of orders, right? We have three types of order type, correct? So this is all order type frequency report. And this is order type only with three, that means internet. So this is the frequency count of quantities. So from your input data order fact, you have to write a program which can create reports ranging from these two dates. So how you'll do it? So simply write a macro with parameter list giving type, start date, stop date as your parameters. In your proc frequency, you write this where your order underscore date starts between start date and stop date. Tables is analysis variable selecting quantity. Title 1 and you're giving a condition. Why? Because you want to generate a table or a report where in case current order type is suppose 3, then it should create only frequency count for order type 3. If it's not 3, then it should give you a report for all order types. Okay, so that's what you're telling. If currently order type you're telling it's missing, you're not providing any value. Not missing, I can say, but you're not providing any value in your program. Then do give a title for all order types, and else do give a second title. If you pass on the value while calling it as 3, it should create this report. All right. So open this demo and work out. Very simple. It's like parameters list. So it's with default parameter, and this is when you call the value with type equal to 3 with same start and end values. Open this demo D0 2 and work out on this.
Ashwini, we can give ampersand
Tell
type.
me.
Ampersand type is equal to 3 in else do statement also, right?
Where you're telling me in this program.
Yeah.
Why you
See,
want that?
where we are doing first condition, ampersand type is equal to like no number, right? It's not missing as you said, right? It's
Right.
when
You're
it's
not
there is
passing
no
on any
number.
values. Yeah.
Yeah, no number means like take all.
Hmm.
Else do uh, and we are not giving any condition. We're directly saying in title this where. So can
Right.
we, instead of giving percent count type is equal to 3 down, can we give that condition here also, like else do
Hmm.
ampersand type is equal to 3?
What it will do, it just try it out.
Okay.
Change your program, do these changes, work out. It's a macro with
else
parameter
do,
list now.
I think else do
Else to
is
type 3, it's how it will work. Else to type 3.
yeah, that's because it should be if type 3. Else
Yes,
type
because
3
it's a condition now.
Hmm. Yes.
So try it out. You can
Okay.
copy this code, try it out.
Hmm.
If it's working or not working, check your log.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, now it's in. So ampersand type is a 3. So what that ampersand type is 3 telling is that it's a macro variable and you're telling its value. You're
Yeah.
not even telling that it's a macro variable value with if or something. So when you compile this, what log is giving you the message?
Before that and type, there should be percent macro.
So it's not compiling correctly. Your logic is not working.
Okay.
That's why no message.
So it's not working here.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to work here, we have to give again if condition. If type is equal to 3, then title 2 will be like that, Ashwini.
Absolutely. Yes. But
Okay,
then
but
why
this
you
is
want to
here.
give that? For single
Yeah, that's what
condition only?
it is given me.
See, it's for the single expression. You have multiple statements, na?
Yeah.
So why you want again the expression? Expression is written once when you write this. Because you have only one expression and one expression you are working with multiple statements. Now once that macro did not work correctly, your whole system will not give you correct report or correct
Before
message.
also it came same, Ashwini.
Yeah. So
When
what you do is you just copy this code, do not save. Copy means not here. Right click and copy.
No, Ashwini, like the percent count also count type is equal to 3 also she has to. Then only
No, but when she is executing this, the compilation message itself is not coming.
yeah,
That
I
it's
copied.
compiled correctly.
Okay, I copied.
So is your M compile not equal to all open?
M compile not all.
No. Before your macro is written created, you want to see the compilation mode, right? When you are executing your macro to be compiled. So before this macro percent count, write options and compile not equal to all. And compile note.
Which one?
M compile note is equal to all.
So it's compiled correctly. All right. Now, go back to your code and type that ampersand type is equal to 3. So what are you telling else do? Just writing ampersand type is equal to 3. You're not writing anything before it. So it's like an expression you're telling or a statement. So try this. Okay, now call it. Let's check.
Yeah,
Now
the
call
count compile without error.
it. Fine. Now call it. Call one while with a null parenthesis along with options. Why option statement is not one sec. Option is not highlighted in blue.
Oh, this one, no? I don't know why.
Okay, before options give one semicolon.
Yeah, that's what.
Before option statement give one semicolon.
Enter.
Okay, let's execute. It's okay. No worries. Just submit it along with your second option and count.
This one only, right? All?
Yes. Okay, check your log. Okay. So when you called your count, beginning your execution of count is telling type value you have not provided. So it's working with first. So where's your logic? Okay, so your logic is telling if condition ampersand type is not provided because you have called it with your null parenthesis, correct? So hence there is no value for type when you had created. So it's true, so it executed with proc. Now go ahead and execute ampersand or percent count with type value. Now give your type value as 2, suppose. Or leave it 3. It's okay. Let's call it. Just call this.
With option, right?
It's okay. Option is a global statement. It's already in effect. Now you have an error. See what it's telling? Ampersand type is resolving to 3 equal to 3. See, post
Yeah, 3 equal to
percentage.
3.
Why?
Yeah.
Because in your program you had given else do ampersand type is equal to 3. So that ampersand type is a macro variable. So that is resolving while calling your count. You called type is with the parameter value as 3. So it's giving 3 equal to 3. It's a syntactical error. What are you trying to tell? Your logic is false. That's why it's telling if condition ampersand type is, it's
False.
still taking 3 equal to 3 as its value. Hence it's false.
Yeah. Yes. It's not working.
It's not working. Now recompile and call it with only count with value 3. Yeah, execute this. Now call it with your type value as 3 with a default title dates, because the start and end date it's all fixed.
Yeah.
See,
Yes.
you're getting this report.
Okay.
Now try this count and you call type value as 2. So 2 means it's a catalog save. No, why are you calling all? Only call person count with type value as 2. So order type 2, check your log. Of course, it will filter your data for type is 2. But what's your condition? Your condition is false. Why? Because you have passed on the value for count for parameter value with 2. Hence, it's generating a report with 2. But the title which is coming is title 1 orders between date this and till. Title is order type 2. So yes, you have a report generating for order type 2.
Okay.
Only for type 2. It's not coming for all types. Why? Because your earlier condition is false. Therefore, it's working with second condition. Understood now?
Yeah. Okay.
Meena,
Yeah. What?
this was all about one of your conditional programs. Same thing we saw.
Ashwin was talking something.
Yeah, I was telling. Now we are looking for your complete program. It's telling if condition type is missing when you call this count with blank or without values, it's a null parenthesis. So it's true, so it's giving you the report for all the orders. Whereas when you call it with count type is 3, your first condition is false. Hence, it's working with the second condition and you get the report. All right, so insert individual statements within a data step. This could be a bit confusing, so I'm not taking it today.
Yeah.
Okay.
On this programming also I need to work on.
Yes, you had to work out. So we'll
It's
stop
little
for
confusing for me. I don't know what about Meena, but I
No,
need to
no.
work.
If you practice, you'll not get confused. But see to it, you revise. Don't worry. As time passes and you keep on revising, the things will be remembered. Don't worry. All right. So we'll stop for a day.
Hmm.
Wish you a good day ahead. Bye and take care.